Good afternoon, America. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Madison podcast. I am your host, New York's favorite British mortgage broker. Today we have another very special guest, quite handsome as well and well-dressed, Mr. Carlos Salinas with Douglas Elliman. He has come today. He's taken time out of his busy day to drop knowledge for you guys, so take advantage. Carlos, thank you for coming.
I appreciate, you and inviting me over. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse. My 4-year-old is a petri dish of everything. Okay. Everything is brought home, so it's just like, now it's just, I'm dealing with like a sore throat. I'm like,
I gotcha.
Hoarse,
Yeah, something's going around now.
I promise not to cough in the mic.
That's okay. The bacteria only survives for an hour anyway. How many kids you got?
Two.
Okay.
Yeah, so a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old. So boy and a girl.
How are you sleeping?
No, I'm good. I'm not at first, but now I'm better. So I'm dealing with the third person in the bed now. My son comes up 1 o'clock in the morning. He can't sleep in his own room, so I'm trying to wean him off of that, trying to keep him in his room.
Slowly. I heard a story. Shoot, I forgot who told me, but someone was telling me how their kid still sleeps with the bed with them, and they're 13 because they can't. They just.
That's a little aggressive.
They can't break it.
No, that's a little.
It's
aggressive.
nuts, but
That's
yeah, I forgot who that was. But yeah, that's not where we want to end up. But I'm not in a position to give any advice on parenting. So I don't know if I told you, Carlos, I'm getting married in September.
Congratulations!
And, thank you very much,
dude. I got to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean this. This is I'm giving you a compliment right now. I promise. I swear to God, dude. I thought you were like 6'4". I swear to God. Yeah, we met at the Gatsby's. I swear to God, when I met you, I'm like, who the this is, and we're essentially the same size. Dude, right. I thought you were like 6'4". No, I swear to God, your online presence is giving. I take it as
a huge compliment.
You're giving like 6'4" energy.
I'll tell you a funny story that kind of supports that actually. So, being that I'm British, I tend to get along very well with Jamaican clients.
Got it.
Right. So So
yes, that actually makes sense.
One time, this lady, her name was Marsha. I remember it to this day. This must have been 7 years ago. I've been on the phone with her for like, I don't know, 3-4 months, and she finally comes into the office, and she's like, she asked the receptionist, where's Ben? And then, I come to her, you see where this is going, and then I'm like, hey, Marsha, and she's like, hello, how are you? I'm looking for Ben, and she's like, you're Ben? I was expecting a 6'4" handsome black man, not a 5'8" Jewish man, And I honestly, I also just took it as a compliment.
No, bro, your social media presence is giving 6'4" energy. So
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's hilarious. I love the social stuff. I think it's just more efficient. It's an easy way for people to stay in touch with their sphere and 100%. With everyone. I think a lot of people think that it produces leads. Like I get calls even from agents like, Ben, where are all the leads from your social? And it's like, I don't get any leads. Yeah. Like people aren't hitting my DMs like, Ben, I get that maybe once a year, if that, honestly. It's really rare.
Different from mortgage, people from the mortgage business compared to real estate agents. I do get, leads from
Well, that makes sense because you sell the product that the clients want.
Correct.
I give them a product that they don't really have a choice but have to take.
In certain cases.
Yeah, in certain cases. I mean, there are certain, I do have clientele, for instance, that are more than capable of purchasing homes cash. 100%. But, for instance, their financial advisors, basically say, like, you're better off putting it mortgage-wise here because of rates, and I can make money for you somewhere else with money here. So they're like, don't put all the cash into it because I can, for instance, if rates 4%, I can get you 8% return.
Every financial advisor is always going to tell you the world is ending if you move money out of an
account. This is true.
And they don't have work anymore. Yeah. Like, no, you're taking money. No, stop. And I'm not going to be able to
keep it here.
Right, exactly. Like, no.
So, Carlos, let's go back to the beginning. What I always love to do is get a sense of kind of your journey into the real estate business. You could take an hour, you could take 2 minutes, but how did you get into the business? Because I imagine that when you were a 10-year-old boy, you weren't like, I want to be a realtor.
Right.
But that does exist.
Nah, it's super simple. Like, I used to, so In 2008, I graduated from LIU Post. So,
cool.
I have a background in public relations, and I minored in media. So
You find that helps? I imagine it does.
100%. So, being here with you right now as my phone is ringing, sorry, lead, I can't talk to you right now. So, what we're doing now, and, you explaining to it, it's almost a sense of relief that I don't have to think about it, or I don't have to be involved in,
Right.
or your platform. I think platforms are so extremely important if done correctly. So, cheers to you for having taken the time to set this studio up and being able to deliver your message in, the way that you, see fit. But for me, it's super simple. After college, I've worked for the New York Jets. I've worked.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've worked for, Weill Cornell Medical College. I've done, PR campaigns for top people. Like my background is in media. My background is in PR. So
Right.
this is my backyard. What we're doing right now is my backyard. But
Quite the advantage, I must say.
it is, because when you're, again, doing it at a level where it becomes strategic as opposed to just doing it to do it,
Right.
serves as an advantage. So, once I was done with college, I stayed in this. So I'm originally from the city, moved out here, lived on campus,
Gotcha.
and that basically, it essentially changed my life. So I knew for a fact then that I was essentially going to be moving back out here at some point
I see.
to live back out on Long Island. But once that happened, I moved all the way out east I bought my first house in Lake Ronkonkoma. So
It's a drive.
yeah, it's a little bit, but right. I jumped over Nassau, went right to Suffolk. But it played a huge part because when I was working in the city, I remember I started. So a really good friend of mine, who's my brother, and I love him to this day, Zach Scher. I don't know if
I don't know him personally, but I know the name.
yeah, he does a little bit of business. Not too,
A little bit,
a little
yeah.
bit of business. He doesn't do a lot of business.
He just crushes it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Small outfit, and he doesn't really do much. But one of my best friends, I love him to this day. He and I started a team together. Well, we were originally at one company. I told him I was getting my license.
Well, hold on. Before you continue, how did you jump from media and stuff into real estate? Like, how was that even a thought?
So it was, I just needed a change. I got tired of, I just needed a change. I needed to do something different where I could take my talents instead of the person. In this industry, there's so much room for creativity. In media, there's so much room for creativity on how you feel or a message should be delivered. That's why certain marketing companies get paid so much money. PR advertising firms get paid so much money. It's because you're dealing with creative people that are going to be delivering a message so strategically that it's going to allow you to think as if it was your own thought. Like
Right.
It's a self-thought. Like, oh my God, I just used Windex on a window.
Yeah.
And it really cleaned it. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, no.
It's genius, actually.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm going to use that. Like, oh, this is an original thought. Like, no.
Yeah.
But, yeah, being able to do that for myself and promoting myself is, something that's been, it's helpful. It's a helpful tool. Private education, that's actually being used and paid for. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, I ended up, getting my license. I said, let me try it out. And I was really good at it. So the part-time money.
How long you been in it?
How long?
In real estate, yeah.
About 8 years now.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so.
Good amount of time. You made it past 2, so you're good.
Right. Well, past 5.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, statistically, people don't make it past 5 years. So
Interesting.
In our industry, yeah. So if you make it past 5, and your business hasn't
your
started
career.
rolling after 5 years, then either you're doing something wrong or you need to.
I think that's a good sign. I think 5 years is quite a bit of time.
Yeah,
2 years I kind of get because you got to put your name out there. It takes people a while to trust you.
The first 2 years are always tough. Join a team. It's what I would say. It's what I did. Well, not what I did, but it's what, Zach and I, when we were at, our first real estate company, we joined forces, and then it became a mega team. And then, the first 2-3 years was really great. COVID hits. We were just talking about it, Anthony and I.
Good times.
Great times, actually. I was telling him how, it really changed the scope
for
of
business. Yeah.
Everything. Like, we get to stay home now? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just close deals from home.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we were doing. So rates were like, what, 2.5?
Yeah, we were working 18 hours a day.
Exactly.
But it wasn't so bad from home because you just wake up, get on the computer.
Yeah.
It's
Refis, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, during that period, a part of me regrets it and a part of me doesn't. My split between purchase and refi was 70-30.
Got it.
So 70% purchase.
Got it.
So that was strategic because I didn't want to just essentially abandon all the realtors that I work with and be like, sorry, I got to...
No, of course. I got to do these refis.
Right, because then, like, okay, the refis, I knew they'd dry up eventually. Right? So it's like, and then what? I got to go and build a whole new network, and now I have a bad name as a guy that, just... So
I never liked that guy.
Yeah. It's like, well, you just ditch me for refis for easy money. So, because I've seen a lot of mortgage LOs do that.
Sure.
Right? Like, and they're like, yeah, I had to rebuild everything, but I made a bunch of money, so whatever, it was okay. I could survive it. But, the refis, like, we do refis, and they're more transactional. They're not as fulfilling.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. There are times where it's super fulfilling. If you're helping someone save X amount a month and it's a game changer, then yeah, that feels great. But like nothing really replaces someone buying their new home, whether it's their first, second, or third. It's still like, I got my home. It's just like it feels good in the chest. So that's the feeling that keeps you going.
Yeah, no, I mean, COVID was definitely that time, I guess, where people really got a sense of what direction they were going to go. Yeah. But
is that when you started going more heavy on like video stuff?
No, it was, for me, it was out the gate. So I knew then that developing a platform was because I was such a fresh face in the industry,
right?
So not essentially living here, but moving out to here, moving out my business to here. Like, it was a fresh start. So, we had the advantage because we were already entrenched in, Facebook at the time.
Right.
Was the big social media hit or the social media platform.
Yeah, you tell people that now, they're like, Facebook?
What?
Yeah. Especially kids. Facebook?
What's that? It's
you use
Meta?
it? Yeah.
What?
You boomer.
So there's so many different platforms that you can perform on now.
Do you have a favorite?
They all serve as different tools, but I guess right now the main one would be Instagram, only because of how you're able to use your metrics. So I'm really big on data. So being able to see where things are working and how these metrics are going to help me improve my presence in that neighborhood. So for example, if someone statistically, like on average, what do you think of how many times does a person look at their phone on a daily basis?
I'm guessing 20 at least.
20, yeah, no. Yeah. 150 times.
That's pathetic. People need help. I'm probably one of them, to be fair, right? I mean, we're in the business.
150 times. I want 3% of that. I want 3% of that. How do I get 3% of that? Right. And that's what these metrics and this data and how I use my platform to be able to, spread a message or spread that I have a listing or spread that I've gotten something under contract or, it's when, for example, prospecting, I'm the prospecting king. I love prospecting. I love cold calling. Awesome. Oh my God, dude, I get a thrill from it. Hell yeah. Oh my God, like I am like the king of cold calling.
Most people are terrified.
No.
Was there a period where you were apprehensive about doing it?
Never.
Okay.
It's it's a yeah, of course it's that sense of rejection that people hate, but I take it and I use it as a thrill. Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Okay, great, no problem. Listen, I'm gonna call you back. Please remember my name. I'm gonna call you until you decide to have a conversation with me. Thank you, Steve. I'll talk to you later.
Honestly, that response probably helps you actually. It does, if anything. They're like,
again, because I'm not on the phone like.
And you're replying positively, and from their perspective, like
exactly. Like I'm not here to. And again, they shut down a lot of our ability to be able to cold call. So, again, I'm in PR. I don't need to try to solicit you. I'm just calling you to let you know what's happening in the neighborhood.
I like that.
Here goes an update.
Yeah.
Just checking in. And that's it. You know, and again,
You're building a relationship.
that's exactly what it is. So, you know, besides our mailers, like for example, and again, trying to separate myself from everyone. That was the main thing. So when I moved on from being with a team, I ended up at Douglas Elliman about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And, you know, when I started my own team, I had this one idea. I didn't want a mega team. I wanted 5 individuals, 5 people that I was going to be able to train, show them exactly how I think this industry should be done. In the time that I've been with Elliman, I picked up my associate brokership, which is great because now, you know, again, it's like having your master's in real estate, even though some people really don't.
Yeah, they have it and they don't come across that way.
Right. So, you know.
Great test takers.
Of course.
Good for them.
Great. And, so with that, I knew what it was going to take for me to invest in my future. So every year since I've been at Elliman, you know, every year my GCI is just on up. I haven't done.
I love that.
Yeah, dude, I haven't had a worse year than the previous year. Every year I've done better, and it's a challenge for myself because
that's not easy.
Not at Elliman.
It's not easy being 8 years in the business.
100%.
That's easy to do when you're 4 or 5 years because
100%.
it's just natural. But
100%.
after 8 years, that's tough. So props to you. That's awesome.
They say, thank you so much. They say that, you know, oh, you can go anywhere and do it, but can you?
Right.
You know, in my opinion, like, you know, if we're number one across the board between Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk, right? You know, I remember someone telling me, hey, you're just going to go there and you're going to be a small fish in a big pond. I was like, you clearly don't know me.
Right.
And I promise you, when I made my decision, you know, and I got to the company.
It's like that's exactly what you want.
I made big waves. I had to.
You want to rise, yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, I made as much noise as I possibly could because here goes a talent. You want to be able to showcase your talent and skills. It's not just social media. Yeah, of course I bring
it's one aspect.
It's one aspect. But if you can't sell a home or if your numbers aren't where they need to be, which is the biggest problem I feel on every person's platform. Perception is reality. We all know each other's numbers. If you do not perform and if you cannot back up exactly what you're portraying online, then yes.
Oh, we see a lot of that.
Faking it till you make it is you.
Yeah.
But when you know, like, for example, like my numbers speak for themselves. Like the stuff that I do in community speaks for itself. Like I am out there. Like I know exactly what, you know, it entails to be able to, you know, do something in your community. Yeah.
I had a question. So to give you perspective, based on everything you just said, I had like 5 questions because I just find it so interesting.
Go.
I've lost a few of them, but one was the idea that you mentioned before about the 3%. I've never heard that before, getting 3% of the 150 or whatever it was.
Yeah, man.
Where does that come from? Are you a big reader, self-development type guy?
It's just really looking at the data, you know what I mean? Like if someone is looking at their, like for example, like geo-target marketing, for example, right. Super simple. Like if you're paying for ads in certain areas. So the marketing component of it is not a pay-to-play kind of deal, but people spend billions in marketing purposefully, right? To be able to showcase their product. Why can't you showcase your talent and showing, let's say with purpose, right? And I'm probably giving away some tea, but you know, a majority of people will listen to what you're saying
and won't do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not really worried about it. But for me, like, for example, on my team, there are 5 of us, right? We do not market in the same areas.
As one another.
Correct.
Right.
We do not compete in certain neighborhoods.
Got it.
On purpose. Why am I going to flood 5 of my agents in Smithtown to just chase Smithtown
and have them compete against each other?
If I'm one of the top people in Smithtown, right? Why would we do that? Where I could have Sophia in Wisconsin, which Sophia is in Wisconsin, right. Jordan is in Lake Grove, Hema is in Middle Island, Yaphank, and Coram. Erica's in Coram, Selden, Center Reach. we're literally marketing into these different areas.
And my presumption, Carlos, you're training them how to farm the most efficient way.
100%. And farming is, yes, that's the easy way to put it. But the prospecting part of it is pushing your marketing into these different areas, because it all comes back to the Salinas team at the end of the day.
So you're using a combination of mailers, online ads, I presume,
100%.
cold calls.
Dude, so people laughed at me when I did this. I swear, this is a true story. People laughed at me when I did this, and they thought that I was crazy, which is fine. You can call me that, but I'm going to be laughing all the way to the bank.
Exactly. The numbers don't care about your opinion.
No, not at all. So 2 years ago, I invested about $4,000. I bought 4 electric scooters.
Okay, 4 electric scooters.
4 electric scooters.
I'm still with you.
Good.
This is going somewhere.
It is going somewhere.
Yeah.
So I remember one day, door knocking for me is still a thing, right? So I remember one day we had just had one of the top sales in Farmingville at the time. This house shouldn't have sold. It sold for $850. It shouldn't have sold for that. Should have sold for like maybe $650 at best.
Oh, nice.
Right.
I thought you were going to go the other way.
No. The house was completely, it needed a whole, it needed more than a hug. It needed like anesthesia and surgery. Like that's how much of the job this house was. But I remember, we wanted, the door knock 10, 20 rule. And I remember it was hot out. I'm walking down the street, swear to God, parked my car. So we started knocking on doors, and I'm about a mile down, because it's a long, like, Old Medford is just like, it's a really long road. So I look back and I'm like, I gotta freaking walk back to my car right now. Right. After we're done, I turn around and I'm like, damn, there has to be a better way.
Right.
Next thing you know, I'm like, how do we do this better? Spent $4,000 on 4 scooters. Every one of my agents has a scooter. So now, instead of 10, 10, 20, we're prospecting an area like 500 houses, door knocking 500 houses a session in about 3 hours. All of us. 500 doors in one area.
That's tremendous.
I'm not even kidding.
But how are you guys sprinting? Like you make everyone go to the gym and get in shape so they can go
on electric scooters. We're not. Remember the distance in houses.
Oh God, I misunderstood. I thought the electric scooter itself was used for advertising. So you're using it to get around.
We're using them to get around.
That's so. That's
we're
great.
Using them to get around.
That's so. I love that.
Yeah. So
it's so simple.
It's super simple.
Yeah.
And again, we've landed. Every summer we land about maybe 3 to 4 houses over the summer, 5 houses over the summer, just from that. Because again, not only are people looking at the stuff that we're putting on their doors and knocking, we're having conversations. They're scanning our QR codes. They're dropping information. We're sending it back out.
Right.
So again, the marketing and the 3% of 150 times a day comes into it, because now you've seen us knock on your door. We're also spending money to be in that area, so that when this concert pulls up their phone, boom, Sophia's right there. Let me take 3% of that if you're looking at something. So, yeah.
On an average day, how many people would you say that you interact with? And both, and if you can, Carlos, right? Can you split new people, as in like new prospecting,
sure,
and follow-ups and stuff like that?
I used to be an extrovert.
Right.
I promise you.
Used to be.
I used to be.
Carlos, you're still an extrovert. But.
No, bro. Yeah. You saw me leaning on your wall. Like I'm like.
I thought you were just stretching.
No. I used to be an extrovert, and so much so. It's twofold, right? So you're about to be married, right?
Yeah.
Right. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks,
I saw your wife. She's gorgeous.
Appreciate
your
it.
Your wife
Thank
is
you.
gorgeous. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
It's hard because for business, we spend so. You had Josh Wally on this podcast. Josh Wally is one of my
great
favorite.
Dude. I love Josh.
Dude, Josh Wally is one of my favorite people on this planet. Like, even in the business, he's such an amazing person. And
wholesome. He's just like I feel safe around him. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. That's the thing. I hate it. I hate it so much. It gets me so angry. Like, why are you so good? But he had explained something to me about coins, right? Giving away your coins, right? So you have a bag of coins, but you, like, for example,
Like your knowledge, like your nuggets?
no, pieces of you, pieces of yourself.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Pieces of yourself, like, you know, being able to speak to people on a daily basis.
Right.
So I used to be an extrovert. So now it's like I have to reserve my coins when I give them out, because I need to make sure that I'm banking enough for my family so that when I get home, I'm just like, I don't want to crash. I want to be able to, I'm a 4-year-old son, and he is the world to me.
Right.
This little 32-pounder dude, people say that, oh, the best thing in the world that ever happened to me was being a parent. No, dude, it's not cliche, I promise. He has completely, this little person, the evolution of him has made me a better businessman, has made me a better person, made me a better father, just made me better all around. That
And you attribute that to, like, you have to basically be more efficient so you can be present with them. So when it comes to business, you're not wasting time. Everything is done at max efficiency so you can be present for your family when you're home.
I want to be able to bank enough coins to be able to be, and it doesn't have to be efficient. Like, I don't have to be an efficient parent. I just have to be present.
Right.
So mind, body, spirit, I just want to be able to, have enough for my family, my wife, my son, my daughter, being on the phone all day, making these phone calls, being the person that they want to be. I remember going through a buyer broker, someone that we had signed on basically said that, I'm going to be working with you, right? I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay. Because I don't feel like I need to be passed on to, like, one of your agents. I'm like, no. They wanted to be with me, and I understood. Like, I understand what they were saying. Like, I'm in a position to pass the lead on to someone else, of course, but sometimes people that work with me are going to work with me, and that's just what it is. But being able to make those calls, circle prospect, make sure that a lot of the new business is coming in, old business gets attended to as well. Right. It's so much on a daily basis that I need to make sure that I'm banking enough. So Josh, I love you. I'm banking my coins, bro.
I love that. I want to go back to something you said about 10 minutes ago.
Sure.
And then we're actually going to come back to what we're talking about.
Let's do it.
You mentioned, again, that your growth has been consistent every year.
It has, yes.
So for me personally, I always, not the beginning of every year, but at least a month or two before I'm doing my next year business plan, I'm thinking of, okay, I do this for business, this for business, this for business. And I'm like, okay, what am I not doing that can bring me another 5-10 loans a year? Right.
Sure.
That's how I do it personally. Do you have a similar method to continue that growth? Because at the end of the day, if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, your business may increase or decline just based on the market, right? But if you're not adding another tool to get that business up, then what are you doing, right? So how do you go about that?
So that is a phenomenal question. That's actually a really, really good question. And my position as a team lead, it's ever so growing. It's never stagnant. I can never be stagnant because I need to be able to provide value for my agents. I have a lot of young agents. I have 5 females on my team. Right. The guys don't want to get their stuff together, which is cool. I'm good with my girls. You know what I mean? And I mean that respectfully. And that's a term of endearment. I don't mean that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Canceled.
Right, exactly. We never want to see him again. Chauvinist pig, like I hate him. No.
No, it just works. Dynamic works.
Yeah, it's I love my girls and they're so amazing. 2 of them are really, really young. Erica is the seasoned vet. Actually, 3 of them are young. Erica's a seasoned vet. And there's 4 of them, 4 girls. So how it works is I need to be able to help them grow as far as the levels that they need to reach, because the more that they do, the better that they do, the more our business grows as a team. And we're so tight-knit. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
You're good. No, you're good.
We're so tight-knit as a team that, like, I'm the incentive king, right? So I love them so much that I do whatever I can to incentivize their growth every year. So if they bring X amount of deals, like for example, if they bring X amount of deals under contract and sold within 2025, I'm sending them on an all-inclusive like vacation.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? And that's the
It was fun, Madison. Thank you very much. I'm off to the Salinas team.
No.
Peace.
You know, like
very cool. I love that.
man.
I've actually never heard of a team lead do that ever. So I think that's great.
You have to. And, you know, because a majority of team leads are like, gimme,
Right.
when it's like, okay, well, what are you doing besides me growing my business? Great, yeah. I'm the guy in the top seat. I got to make sure that the people around me are equally as happy. Like, who doesn't want to go on an all-inclusive? Now, again, it's a merit system as well. Like, if you do a certain amount of deals, of course, you know, you'll get a raise at the end of the year and you'll be able to make more money in 2026 besides an all-inclusive vacation.
But the reward is good, and also sometimes people need to be forced to take time off too.
Exactly.
And relax.
Exactly.
Common
So,
in our business, I think.
for me, the growth and the better my teammates grow, the better we're going to be in certain areas because they're going to want to work towards something.
Right.
And watching them every year try to figure out how to better their business it's a fulfillment for me, but it's also a sense of accomplishment because now the Salinas team is growing. I don't have to handhold as much. They know what they need to do.
So if I'm summarizing correctly, the way that you go about facilitating growth is focusing on what motivates your agents and
100%.
basically
Yes.
using that as the leverage to
Correct.
get them to grow and therefore grow the team.
Correct. That's it. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And
It's much more complicated than that, I'm sure.
it is. There's so much that goes into it.
You got to know psychology. You have to be able to read people.
Oh, dude, it's
not easy
tough.
to do.
It's tough. Again, going back to me used to being an extrovert, like, you know, I'd rather be home, like watching Netflix, right? You know, just
Right.
kind of like chilling with my kids. So, don't get me wrong. I love being out there. You know, the personality has it. You know, when I see people, I'm very.
But you got to reserve
happy.
your coins for your family.
Yeah, man, you have to. You have to. And
I'm going to use that too. Thanks, Wally.
Josh Wally, man, he is like a guru. It's my guy.
He's like the Yoda of the real estate business. Maybe
Dude,
that's what we could call him.
he is the guy that if you needed to go into the trenches with in real estate.
Literally, he's a military guy.
Military guy. He knows what guerrilla warfare is.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight Joshua Wally.
No. Oh, dude, he's a ninja. He's secretly Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but real estate.
But real estate, exactly.
Okay, back to the other question, and then we'll get into our mundane mic drop, and we'll finish up.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, can you walk us through, and obviously if you don't want to divulge the secrets, up to you.
Sure.
Can you walk us through your typical day, right, from start to finish? Obviously, you could omit family stuff if you want to, but like what does or actually maybe not even your typical day, but like an ideally efficient day?
An efficient day. So I know it sounds cliche, but it really does. People do these things purposefully because they actually do work. Like I'm usually up at around 4:30.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like
okay.
4:30, 5 a.m. Like my fat behind needs to be in the gym, and if I don't get my workout done in the morning, I am not going to do it throughout the day because we're so busy.
How many times a week are you in the gym?
I try to be there like 4 to 5 days a week.
It's great.
You know, yeah. So
really good.
I want to be around for my kids. The problem is I used to play a lot of sports, so I suffer from a lot of tendonitis and a lot.
I'm actually really glad that you just mentioned that because naturally I've observed, just talking to you for the past 20, 30 minutes, you're a competitive guy, not in an aggressive other people, but competitive within yourself.
Correct.
So what sports did you play?
Football, baseball, primarily.
How much of your discipline, your drive, your competitiveness would you attribute to that?
I did it, be honest?
Yeah.
0.
Oh, wow.
I love to win, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is, it doesn't, I love this. I love the camaraderie of sports.
Right.
I love the objective of what it stands for, the discipline of what it stands for. But my drive
comes from your family now, I presume.
It does, but you know, being raised in a single parent home and not having the without for me is the the competitiveness of me being in competition with myself.
Right.
So like, you know, not having a dad, that whole thing.
Of course.
And, you know, trying to figure out life on my own. Like my mom could only do but so much. And just trying to be a better me for myself and now for my kids and my family. So I love to win. The competitiveness of winning from sports, that comes from it. But the drive and determination from, you know, trying to be for myself.
Carlos, it's a common theme that I've noticed in people in our business, top producers, right, are kind of obsessed with self-development and self-growth.
So obsessed.
Right, we want to be the best versions of ourselves.
Yes.
Because truth be told, that is what it takes. Because as you reach each level, in order to get to the next level, you have to unlock something else within yourself in order to go further. Correct. And honestly, that is, for me, it's the primary reason why I love this business. I don't have a hard-on for interest rates. I have to understand the market because it's a requirement. But for me personally, the idea of growing and challenging myself and like doing public speaking, which I do quite a bit of these days. I think I told you I teach CE.
I've seen a couple things, like, and that's tough.
Yeah, but when I started, I was like myself, you know, it's terrifying to do, but after a while, you know, it's kind of just become second nature. And I think that goes with anything. So as you grow, so for instance, or I'll take the example of teaching CE, right?
Yeah.
So I teach CE maybe 2-3 times a month. It's great, fun, love doing it. But in the beginning, I didn't. And I was like, if I need to grow and I need to get in front of more agents, this is a great strategy. But I was apprehensive because it was scary to do the public speaking.
For sure.
And then finally did it. And not going to lie, the first, it was always smooth. I never had any issues, but it took a lot out of me. It was mentally very taxing.
The preparation.
Yeah, and then it took, and then it went physically, right? So it got me tired. But after you do it 50 times or whatever it is, it becomes exact. That's a great word, by the way, for it. It's muscle memory. It's just you get into it, and then that allows you to create room for a new CE or
100%.
public or strategy. So I find that is like, that's the key, right, to growth. We got to find that thing, right? Is there a specific way, Carlos, that you go about, by the way, finding a new thing, a new tool, or whatever the case may be?
It's just a lot of it, believe it or not, I watch everything. I watch what all my competitors are doing.
Right.
Again, it's competition. I'm in competition with myself, but I'm in competition not only to
we have to be aware of what our competitors are doing.
Not only to be first, but just like to try to do it differently, right? You know, a lot of it is, how do I approach this business, you know, and be different from what everyone else is doing, and how do I separate myself from them? So, I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but and that's probably the word for this podcast, but it's that's what I would really say at the end of the day. I'm not, you know, I love to watch everything around me. I read the room. I read the room of business. Right. You know, like how to, you know, with interest rates, like I've learned so much on, you know, how, not that I know how your business works in its details.
Most people in the business don't know how it works.
I can imagine, because I could say the same thing about real estate. I could say the same thing about what I do, but you know, it's being a team lead is probably the best thing. That's, you know, it's a lot of work, but I love being able to put my young agents in a position to further excel their businesses and, you know, try to help them to do that. So this year, our main goal is, you know, saving. You know, they have a goal. So for example, like this Christmas, I gifted them these things called cash boxes, right? Little square boxes. And, you know, their goal is 10 grand. Oh. And every time, you know, they, you know, get a closing, the objective was, hey, here goes your gift for Christmas. I need you to save 10 grand by the end of the year. And then we're going to invest that 10 grand and put it into something so that you have.
So you're also helping them with their personal finances 100%. In life too.
No one did that for me, dude. It's like, what can I do for them that's going to help them be better so that when they turn, you're 27, 28?
I love you. Thank you. 35.
God bless you. All right. So like even at 35, you know, when they look back and they're 35, because they're 21, 22 right now, you know, when they turn back at 35.
They got the energy.
Well, not even just that. Yeah. They'll have the savvy. They'll have the smarts to look back and be like, oh, shit. He really did help me, you know, start a portfolio. And, like, there's a big...
I don't know anyone that does that. I've known some people that have talked about it, but I think
it's
going to
get even further. So, like, we have I have a conversation scheduled with someone that's going to help them open up accounts in the summertime so that they can start saving for their retirement. So I'm going to open I'm going to gift them. It's out the bag if they see this, but I'm going to gift them like IRA accounts.
Oh wow!
So this summer
we could save that part of the clip for you know, when you do it if you want.
Yeah, whatever. But that's another one of my goals for them for the summer. I want to be able to take some of whatever I've earned from the business and then gift them an IRA. I know that, you know, if they decide to move on in their careers and they don't want anything back, that's great. Okay, great. But at least, you know, I know that I started something for them that they continue.
Especially for a bunch of people in their early 20s.
20s.
Yeah, that idea doesn't really cross their mind unless they have some education behind it. Yeah, until they're like 35 and they're like, I should have done it.
Well, I told one of my agents, you know, one of the requirements to be on my team as well is, you know, you either need to be in college or you need to already have your degree. Right. So, you know, I just don't want salespeople. I want, you know, people that are going to actually, you know, push the boundary. And not that you need to. And it's no discredit to anyone that doesn't go that route. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But, you know, I'm still a firm believer in education and how important it is. So
I love that.
That's just me, man.
Let's get into our mundane mic drop.
Mundane mic drop.
Right. So again, to repeat, the challenge here is for Carlos to do what most people do on podcasts and the internet, is to say something that is just normal, like, I don't know, photosynthesis creates oxygen, and try and make it sound like it's a real mic drop, like bomb, like he's changed the game. So I'll give you a minute here, Carlos.
I already got it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's do it. So right into the camera. Let's do it.
So today's mundane mic drop is, I need everybody to pay attention to your Instagram stories. It's a complete game changer. Not only can you post your daily routines as many times as you'd like, it always looks fresh, because after 24 hours, get this, the story disappears. And I swear, it's like magic. You can come back after 24 hours. Ben, this is brand new stuff. This is brand new stuff. I'm giving up the tea. After 24 hours, your story disappears, and it looks like the next time you post a story, it looks like it's brand new. So that it's never repetitive. It doesn't hang on any grid. You don't have to scroll through anything. If people really want to know who you are and have a fresh take, post on your stories. And here goes the thing. You can invite other people to be on your Instagram story. I can't say anything else about it. If you don't know about it, this is kind of like the tea for today.
Carlos, I thank you very much for that.
You can post pictures too. It doesn't have to be videos. 24 hours, that's it.
And you could put music on it.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah.
It will bring you 1 million deals a year.
Yes, absolutely.
Carlos Salinas, Douglas Elliman, thank you, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Today was fantastic.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
Crushed
absolutely.
it. Peace.